this function 1 upon t to the power p is not defined at t equal to 0. So how to deal this type of problem? So like we did in when the limit is infinity, we'll assume it is x and then extend to infinity. So similar thing we will do here. We'll assume it is x to 1 and then we'll apply x tending to 0. So instead of 0 to 1, this is the problem, actual problem, 0 to 1. Instead of this, we will solve this one, x to 1, because at x equal to 0, this integrand is unbounded, or it is not defined at t equal to 0. So now we'll integrate this and we'll find the value of the integration. So what is the integration of? So here it is given p
Sir,
is
your
less.
voice is echoing.
So please mute other. Maybe someone is unmuted. So now we integrate 1 upon t to the power p with respect to t, and we'll apply the limit from x to 1. So what is the value of integration? What will be the integration of 1 upon t to the power p?
P power minus p plus 1 by 1 minus p.
Okay, t to the power minus p plus 1 divided by minus p plus 1, and then we'll apply limit x and 1. So here p is less than 1, it is given. So if p is the p equal to 1, then definitely it will give ln t. So that case will not arise here. So once we'll apply the limit, what will happen? At t equal to 1, you will get 1 upon 1 minus p minus, if you put x, it will give x to the power minus p plus 1 divided by minus p plus 1. So when x goes to 0, what will happen? Here p is less than 1, then minus p plus 1 will be, this power of x will be what? If p is less than 1.
Positive.
Positive. So x tending to 0 will be what?
0.
0.
0. So we'll get 1 of, yeah, so we'll get 1 by 1 minus p. So like we did in the, when power is like some integration limit is infinite, then also we are doing the same thing. Here also we are doing the same thing, but the only difference here, once we'll apply the limit, so we cannot write like x tending to 0. So once we'll apply limit, so we cannot write like x tending to 0. It will anyway give 1 upon 1 minus p, because integration is from 0 to 1. So this side is 0, this side is 1. So if I will write x tending to 0, so like if you are in the real line, there are two type of limit. One is left hand limit, one is right hand limit. So we don't know what is left hand side. So this limit 0 will be 0 plus. That means only right hand side limit we are finding here. This is 0 plus. If we suppose function is not defined at 1, then we'll take 1 minus. So 1 plus we cannot write, limit x tending to 1 also we cannot write. In this case we will write 0 plus. Is it okay to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Sir, your voice not clear, sir.
Sir, you please mute all.
Mute all, sir. It is creating disturbance.
Yeah, that's why this problem is coming. Let me mute everyone. So this is the end of integration. So now I will recall whatever till now we discussed.
Sir, this part, can you explain? It was disturbance was coming. Last part.
Yeah, last part I am saying that, see here we can take x tending to 0, but the domain is from 0 to 1. So only right hand limit will exist. Left hand limit we don't know anything, because that is not the part of the domain. It is starting from 0 only. So we can go 0 plus. We cannot go 0 minus. Similarly, if suppose in some problem like something like this, if I will write 0 to 1, 1 upon some t minus 1 dt. So in this case, at 1 it is not defined. So we'll take 1 minus. We cannot take 1 plus. So this limit is 0 plus. In this case, we'll replace 1 by x. After that, we'll apply the limit 1 minus. That means this is equivalent to limit x tending to 1 minus 0 to x 1 upon t minus 1 dt. Because after 1 we don't know anything. That is beyond the limit of the t. So we'll write 1 minus. But in case of infinity, because we can go infinity plus, we can go even infinity minus. So that's why we are directly writing x tending to infinity or x tending to minus infinity. But here we cannot write because it is not the part of the domain. So now we'll recall whatever we discussed. So this is the half part of your syllabus is finished. So I will just recall what we discussed so far in this course till now. Yes?
I said that x power of minus p plus 1 by minus p plus 1. Sir, how that became 0?
Which one? This one?
Yes, sir.
If x is 0, if power is positive, then it will give 0. If power is negative, it will give infinite. Right? 1 upon x, just x tending to 0 will give infinite.
Sir, but it is coming at 0 power 0.
Why 0 to the power 0? How you know p value is 1? It is given p is less than 1.
Yes,
Once
sir.
p is less than 1, 1 minus p will be greater than 0.
Oh, yes.
So in that case only it is converging. When p is greater than 1, we are not saying anything. Even equal to 1 also we are not saying anything.
Yes, sir.
So now I will write some of the topics whatever we discussed so far in this course. One, we have seen the first topic was the sequence. Then we have seen limit. Then we have seen continuity. Then differentiability. And some maxima minima also we have seen. So these are the major topic I am writing. Some other things I am not writing. And the last one is the integration. So definitely for sequence we have some epsilon definition. For limit we have epsilon definition and sequence definition also. Like if you take two sequence, both have different limit, that means limit doesn't exist. Similarly, for continuity also we have some epsilon delta definition and some sequence definition. Differentiability, we are finding the limit. So how we are getting the limit? If you are able to get, then same method you will get it is differentiable or not. Maximum minima also we have seen, and integration also we have sequence definition and this epsilon definition. So that is epsilon, and there exists a partition P such that upper Riemann sum and minus lower Riemann sum is less than epsilon. So now the same thing we will do again. I will first see sequence, limit, continuity. So this is the half part of the syllabus. Now we'll start another half part of the syllabus, and the same topic will again come: sequence, limit, continuity, differentiability, maxima, minima, and integration. So whatever till now we have seen, that is only for the real valued function. Now we'll see multi-valued function, or we can say that is vector valued function, or some more than one variable. So all those things we'll see how we'll deal all those things in multivariable. So I will define something. So suppose you are in the 2 dimension. So can you give me one example or one vector in 2 dimension? Any one example of a vector in 2 dimension. 2 dimension means x-axis and y-axis are there.
1,1.
Two
This is
I
x-axis.
plus j.
I cap plus J cap.
Yes. So
Yeah,
someone is
cap
saying
plus
1,
B, J
1.
cap.
Yeah, someone saying some a cap or b
I,
cap.
comma 4,
Yeah, I cap plus j cap
3, comma 4.
3 comma 4. So these are some example of a vector in 2 dimension. Similarly, we can write in 3 dimension also. So what is this I cap plus j cap?
Directions, unit vectors along direction.
Direction XY.
I cap and j cap is the unit.
Orthogonal unit vectors.
Yeah, these are unit vector along the direction x and direction y. So suppose this point is 3 comma 4. 3 comma 4. So vector means this vector. Okay. So what I will do, I will follow both the notation. So this 3 comma 4 vector you can write like 3 comma 4. That means x component is 3, y component is 4. Or someone can write this same vector as 3 I cap plus 4 j cap. Both are same. But maximum time I will follow like 3 comma 4 notation. Like if you write 3i plus 4j, that and this 3 comma 4 both are the same vector depending on the notation. So if you write I and j, this 3 comma 4, that means also in x direction 3 unit and in y direction 4 unit. So now we'll see all those things: limit, continuity, differentiability, maxima, minima, integration in multivariable. Multivariable means not only 2 dimension, even 3 dimension, even n dimension, even 4 dimension, 5 dimension. How we will check limit, continuity and all. So first I will just define some terms which are useful in this multi-dimension. So what is the multi-dimensional meaning is, if n belongs to the natural number, consider n-dimensional Euclidean space. Like if n equal to 1, we have only real line. If n equal to 2, then we'll say it is R2, then it has only 2 components, x1 comma x2. Like vector will be look like x1 comma x2, like 3 comma 4, 5 comma 6, 7 comma 8, or 1 comma minus 1. If it is n dimensional, like 4 dimension, then x1, x2, x3, x4. If it is n dimension, then all vector of this type, x1, x2 and xn, where each xi belongs to the real number. So this is called n dimensional vector space. So whatever we learn in R, the same thing we learn for Rn. So if n equal to 1, then this is nothing but R. If n is greater than 1, it can be R2, R3, R4 and belongs to the natural number. So if n equal to 1, then element of R, there is one name that is called scalar. Like we are calling that is real number because these are the element of R. So here the more popular name is called scalar. If these are the element from R or real number. If these are element from the vector like 3 comma 4, then these are called vector. Like 3 comma 4 is a vector, not it is number. That is not like a scalar, like we have in 3, 4, 5, some real number, root 2, pi. So these are real number, but in vector or n dimensional space, we are calling it is vector. So like I already asked, give me some example of element in R2. So you given 3 comma 4, that 3 comma 4 is a vector. Like 1 comma 1 is also a vector. So now we'll follow this one, scalar and vector. Now the question is how to add these two vector. So suppose this is n dimensional vector space, so definitely it has n component, x1, x2, xn. Similarly, another element of this same Rn is y1, y2, yn. So if you want to add two vector, then it will be x1 plus yn. Similarly, x2 plus y2 and xn plus yn. Like suppose 1 comma 1 is a one vector and 3 comma 4 is another vector. If you want to add in R2, then just add simply x component and y component. So this is whatever I wrote, it is for n dimensional. Like if you are in R2 only in 2 dimension, and if you add in R2, there are two elements I am taking just example. One is 1 comma 2, another is 1 comma minus 1. These two vector if you want to add, and these both are vectors, so that's why it is written vector addition. How to add two vectors? So just add the component, like 1 comma 1 will become 2 and 2 comma minus 1 will become 1. So this is the addition of two vector 1 comma 2 and 1 comma minus 1. Or in terms of I cap and j cap also you can write this is I cap plus 2 j cap, and if you add I cap minus j cap, you will get 2 I cap plus j cap. and here it is written scalar multiplication. So if suppose x is a vector like this, x1, x2, xn, and we are multiplying by some real number, and here we are calling real number or the element of R is a scalar, so that's why this multiplication name is scalar. More popular name is that is called scalar multiplication. So how you will multiply? Just multiply each component by that number. So suppose if you multiply 2 with this vector 1 comma 2, that means it will become 2 comma 4. Just multiply a with all component of that vector, you will get the scalar multiplication. So now how will measure the distance in real number? Like we have some sequence, we are saying something xn minus L is less than epsilon. So what is the meaning of this xn minus L? This what this mod represents in the real number.
Distance.
Distance.
Yeah, so like if it is mod a minus
Distance.
b, yeah, so it will give the distance between 2 points in the real line. If a comma b are 2 points, then mod of a minus b will give the distance between 2 points. So now how will measure the distance in 2 dimension, R2 or R3 or in Rn? So how to measure the distance? Suppose there are 2 points, 1 comma 2 and 1 this one, 1 comma 2 and 1 comma minus 1. So how to measure the distance between these two?
Distance formula.
Yeah, what is the distance formula?
Square root of
X
x2
minus
minus
L.
x1 square plus y2 minus y1 square.
Yes, so we are using the distance formula. So the same thing, like whatever we are calling mod here in R, the same thing in Rn. Rn means in R2, R3, even R4, R5, higher dimension also, that is called norm. And the definition of norm is this one. So if x is a vector, then what this norm will represent? Norm is the distance of that vector x1, x2, xn from the origin. Like x minus 0 you can always write. So this is the distance of vector x from the element 0, x minus 0, and this formula is x1 square plus x2 square plus xn square. So by using this formula, I will find the distance between two element. So just give me two element in R2, then I will find the distance between those two. So R3, give me two elements in R3, like 3 dimensional.
1, 3, 5.
3, 4, 5.
Okay, 3, 4, 5. This is one vector. Another vector is
0 to 3. 0 to
yes.
3.
Yeah, 0, 2, 3. So like if you want to find, you will apply the distance formula. But I want to find, so suppose this is A, this is B. If that is a real number, then we will write A minus B. But these are not real number, these are vector. So we'll write norm of A minus B. That means the distance between A and B. So I will write 3, 4, 5. This is the first vector, minus 0, 2, 3 is the second vector. And we know how to add two vector addition. And we know how to multiply scalar also, that if minus 1 you will multiply, you will get, this is plus. If you multiply minus 1, then you will get minus 1, minus 2, sorry, 0, minus 2 and minus 3. And now we can add also. Or we can directly write, but first time I am doing, that's why I am writing. 3 minus 0 is 3 plus 0 is 3. So this will give 3. 4 minus 2 will give 2. And 5 minus 3 will give 2. So we will get this one. The difference between those vectors will be 3, 2, 2. And what is the norm of this? According to the norm formula, if it is x1, x2, xn, its norm will be x1 square root of x1 square, x2 square, xn square. So that means this norm will come square root of 3 square plus 2 square and plus 2 square. So that is the distance between this point A and B in R3. It is same as whatever you are saying, the distance like square root of 3 minus 0 whole square, 4 minus 2 whole square, plus 5 minus 3 whole square. Is it okay? So this norm is the distance in any n-dimensional vector space or any n-dimensional space. Like in R it is mod, but in Rn it is norm. So if it is R2, then we'll go x1 square plus x2 square. If it is R3, we'll go x1 square, x2 square, x3 square, 3 component. If it is R5, it will start from x1 square, it will go up to x5 square. It is in R3, so here 3 component. So first component is square, second component is square, and third component is square. That is the distance between 2 points in R3 here. We took 2 points and this is the distance between. So is it okay how to find the distance in Rn? And why distance is required? Because if we want to define some epsilon definition, x sequence xn minus L mod is less than, so that mod will replace by norm. That means we'll write the definition like norm of xn minus L is less than epsilon, there exists a natural number. Same thing we will do, but in terms of norm. And norm, how we'll calculate? This is the example how we'll calculate the norm. Is it okay to everyone? Now the next one is suppose
Yes,
some
sir.
interval. Suppose interval is given. One interval I am writing around the point x naught. Like this is the point x naught, and this is x naught plus delta, and this is x naught minus delta. So the interval will be look like something x naught minus delta to x naught plus delta. So this is the interval around the point x naught with the equal distance delta and delta. This is in R. Suppose we are in R2, then how this interval look like? Like what will be the alternate of this in R2 or R3, even in Rn? Like distance, this mod is replaced by norm. Their distance formula is different. So like this interval in R, how that interval will look like in R2, or how it will look like in R3. So we'll see, that is denoted by this one. So what is the definition? If n belongs to natural number and a is the element in Rn. So around this point, that the neighborhood of this point with this R is called the radius, then it will be look like this. The notation is BA comma R. How will read? It is ball with center A, radius R. And what are the elements? That is norm of x minus A is less than R. So why I am writing? See what are the element here? X belongs to this means what? X belongs to this means we can write mod of x minus x naught is less than delta. Yes or no? All the element in this interval will be what? If mod of x minus x naught is less than delta, that means this is same as x belongs to x minus delta to x plus delta. So that delta is we are calling radius, and because we are in Rn, so we cannot put mod. So mod is become norm. So that definition will be exactly similar, but in terms of norm, that is norm of x minus A is less than R. Is it okay? So suppose n equal to 1. So if you put n equal to 1, then this is exactly nothing but the interval in R. That norm of x minus A is same as the interval. So if we are in R, that x means only one component, A is also one component. That component I am calling it is A1, and R is radius, then this norm will become mod. Why norm will become mod? From this formula. If this is formula for Rn. Suppose for R2, what is the formula for this norm of x for R2? Can anyone tell me what is the formula for norm x for R2? It is square root of R2 means the only two component, x1 and x2. Then it will come this one, right? Suppose in R3, what will be the formula for norm? This x in R3 means x belongs to R3 means it has a three component, x1, x2 and x3. Then formula will become x1 square plus x2 square plus x3 square. Similarly, if you are in Rn, then same formula, x1 square, x2 square, xn. Suppose x belongs to R, then what is the formula for norm of x? Can anyone tell?
Mod x. Mod
It
x.
will give square root of
x square.
Square root of x1 square, and that is nothing but mod x1. Only one component. Here it has two components, x1 x2 then x1 square plus x. Here it has three component x1 x2 x3. In R it is norm is nothing but mod. So whatever mod I replace by norm, and delta here whatever I shown to you, that is R. So this norm will become mod for R, and mod x minus a, it will from a plus R to a minus R. Sorry, a minus R to a plus R. So if n equal to 2, then what it will give? Like in R2, how this will look like? That interval in R, how it will look like by this definition in R2, like in 2-dimensional space. So in R2, how this x will look like? x1 comma x2 two component. So I'm just solving this one. Suppose we are in R2, x belongs to R2. That means x has two component, one is x1, one is x2. Then a also has a two component, this a. So I'm putting x is x1 comma x2 minus a is a1 comma a2. That means distance between two is less than r. So if you solve, what you will get? Distance between this and this is less than r. So what is the norm of this? That means what is
Circle,
the
I guess.
distance?
Square root of
Sphere.
x1 minus a1 whole square plus x2 minus
Inside
a2
of a circle.
Yeah, it is
Circle with center
inside
A1,
of the
comma
circle,
A2.
like in internal part of the circle, not the circle, excluding the boundary of the circle. X1 is square, x2 minus a2 whole square is less than r. That means it is a center circle with the center at a1 comma a2, radius r. So whatever interval is look like here in this picture, suppose this is a, center is there, so this side is a plus r and this side is a minus r in R. If you are in R2, so the same thing will be look like this. Suppose this point is a1 comma a2, it is circle with center at a1 comma a2 with radius r. And what is the internal part of that? That will become interval in R2. Whatever we are calling interval in R, the same thing we will get as a internal part of the circle, and that name is called disk. So for n equal to 2, it is x1 minus a1 whole square, x2 minus a2 whole square is less than r square. That means this is called disk. Suppose we are in R3, then what we will get? The shape.
Sphere, sir.
Sphere.
Yeah, we'll get
Inside
the
of-
internal part of the sphere, and that has a standard name, that is called ball. Like from 3 onward, we will call it is ball with center at A and radius r. So in R3, it is a1 comma a2 in a3. Similarly, if we are in Rn, this is the definition for Rn. Then we will call it is sphere, internal part of the sphere. So we'll call it is ball, and we'll read like this: ball at center at A and radius r. In R, this will become interval. In R2, it will become disk, and in R3, it will become sphere. Even in R4, we don't know. We cannot say what will be the picture. So the general name is called ball for any n-dimensional space. This is also a ball. This is also a ball. This is the particular case of this ball. So these two things are clear. What is norm, like how to measure distance in Rn, and how to create a neighborhood with center A and radius r in Rn. That will be the ball of this type. Because these things we will define when we will see limit, continuity, all those things. Now the function, how this function will look like in Rn. Like previously we have function from R to R, or some subset closed interval 0, 1 to R, that is just subset of R. Suppose we have some function from Rn to Rm, like R2 to R3. Can you give me an example of a function from R2 to R3?
0, 1, 2.
1 comma 2.
R2 to R3 function. Like I'm writing function
1
from
comma
R to
2.
R. Like this I want fx equal to x. This is a function, or fx equal to x square. How look like some example I want? R2 to R3. R2 means 2 component, R3 means 3 component. So in domain 2 variable, in codomain 3 variable. Here R, so only one variable x, and here only one variable x square. X square is also a real number. So can you give me an example of a function from R2 to R3 or R3 to R4?
No, sir.
Okay, so I'm giving one example. The function will be like this: f of x comma y, two component. It will take one vector in R2 and it will map to the another vector in R3. How it will map? The first component will go to x plus y. Second component I'm writing x minus y. Third vector is only y. So this is vector in R3 and this is in R2. So this is the example from R2 to R3.
Yes, sir.
It is taking, suppose x equal to 1 and y equal to 2. For example, where this image of 1 comma 2 will go by this definition. If you take 1 comma 2, its image will be 1 plus 2 is 3, 1 minus 2 is minus 1, and y is 2. So 1 comma 2 in 2 dimensional will map to 3 comma minus 1 comma 2 in R3. Is it okay? So the function will look like this. And now we'll discuss how this function is continuous or not, or differentiability sequence will, how it look like. We'll see everything. So can you give me one example of another function from R3 to R? So I want an example of a function from R3 to only R, like 3-dimensional space map to
fxyz equals to x
plus y plus z
f of x, y, z is mapped to only one number. You can write x plus y plus z, or you can write anything x. If you write even x also, that will be also like all element in R3 map to x axis. If you write only x, means on real line, all are mapping to the real line, x plus y.
Can we write x into y into z?
Yes, you can write x, y, z also. That is also a proper example of R3 to R. So far we have seen R to R. Now we'll see R2 to R3, R3 to R4 from N to M. N can be anything, M can be anything. N can be bigger than M or M can be bigger than N also. Right? So here's some nomenclature. If N equal to 1 in domain, then it is called single variable. Only one variable, that is x, f of x, that we have seen till now. Integration of fx with respect to x only. But when N is greater than 1, that is called several variable or multivariable. So now what we will see, how to deal limit in several variable, how to find continuity in several variable, differentiability in several variable, maxima minima is also in several variable, and how to integrate also. So all those questions is the second part of this course. So based on the domain dimension n equal to 1 or n is greater than 1, it is called single variable or multivariable. So far what case we covered, this is the only part A we have seen how to check all those things. Till now we covered only for n equal to 1, that means R here, and m is also 1 we covered, whatever we covered. So depending on m, if m equal to 1, this will become only R, and the element of that is called scalar. So this side if m equal to 1, then we'll say it is scalar valued or real valued function. That real number is also called scalar. So we can say it is scalar valued function. That means the value of this function is scalar or real. So real valued function. So far whatever we discussed, n equal to m and m equal to 1 case only. Single variable real valued function. Now we'll see multivariable or several variable real valued function, and if m is greater than 1, then it is called vector valued function, because right hand side if it is R2, R3, then the image will be vector, not as a number. If m equal to 1, we will get an image as a number, like in the previous this here image we are getting a number. So this is the example of multivariable, because here 3 variables are there, image is only single number, so it is scalar multivalued function or several variable scalar function. But this is several variables are more, but right hand side is image is vector, so it is vector valued function. It is taking the vector value. Here it is taking scalar value, and both are the example of several variable. That means more than one variable. So like, can you tell me out of this 4 category, in which category this function will belongs?
So n equals to
Single
1
variable.
and m equals to 1.
Someone is saying
Several
variable,
variable,
scalar
scalar
value.
valued function.
Several
Several
values.
variable.
Several
Yeah,
variables.
several variable scalar
Scalar
value.
several variable and scalar
Scalar
valued
N
function.
is 3, M is
Because
1.
this function is from R3 and it is going to only one real number. So this function is from R3 to R. 3 variable it will take and it will map to single number. This function,
3 to 2.
yeah, 3 to 2, but what is the name?
Several variable,
Several
vector value.
Several and vector.
And
Yeah, several, and it is vector valued. It takes value in vector, in the form of vector, not in the form of a real number or not in the form of a scalar. So it is several variable vector valued function. Similarly, this one, several variable vector valued. This one,
Single and vector.
Single variable.
yeah,
Vector
variable is
Single
single
variable
and vector valued. So we have,
vector
yeah, so
function.
we have seen single variable. Till now we have seen single variable, but scalar valued function we have seen. Like the question is how to differentiate this function or how to integrate this function. What is the limit of this function as extending to 0? Same question for all type of problem. So we'll discuss. And this example, part E.
Several and scalar.
Yeah,
Several
several
and
and
scalar.
scalar. If domain is more than one variable, then definitely variable you can clearly say 3 variables. So several variable, not single variable. So here only single variable is there. So this is the function of single variable. And right hand side it will take only one value. Here it is taking two vector like x square plus z I cap plus y square plus sin z j cap. So this is vector. This is vector. This is also vector. So this is also vector. So all three are vector valued. This is not vector. This is scalar one number. This is also a scalar. So this is scalar valued. So the first and last is the scalar valued. In between these are vector valued. And this side first three are several variable. This is single variable. Then again several variable. So now what we will do, we'll learn one by one. So what we'll learn first this one. Definitely several variable Rn to R. If you know how to deal with Rn to R, you can deal everything. Like if you have several variable with scalar valued, if you know answer of this, that means you can answer all type of problem. So how means we can do like this. So this one is from R3 to R2. So why we will deal this first? Because if you know this, you know the answer of this also. How? Suppose this is called function f1 and this is called f2. So what is f1? In this example, what is f1?
R3 to R1.
Yeah,
Several
f1. So I'm writing f1 definition. F1 is x comma y comma z, and it will map to x square plus z. This is f1. f2 is x comma y comma z. It is mapping to y square plus sin z. So if you know about f1, f2, you will get clear information about f. And f1 and f2 is nothing but R3 to R. So if it is vector valued function, there is no problem. You can always assume this is f1, f2. If it is more component, like this is f1, this is f2, this is f3. So suppose the question is this function is continuous or not. X square is continuous, sin x is also continuous, cos x is also continuous. So can we say that this function is continuous? The answer is yes. We know this x square, sin x, cos x. So this is f1, this is f2, this is f3, all are continuous. So this function is also continuous. If this limit exists, all limit exists, then we'll say that function also have same limit. So now what we'll deal with this case, Rn to R, like several variable with the scalar valued function. If we know this, then we can easily get the several variable vector valued answer. In that case, what we cannot cover of this type of case. Single variable with, that is also very easy. So we'll discuss in one or two class, it will cover. So first we'll deal only this type of. So now we'll start again from sequence, limit, continuity, then differentiability, then maxima minima, and then we'll reach to integration. And once we'll reach to integration, your syllabus will be done. So what is the sequence? Sequence in R. What is the sequence? In R. I am not asking in Rn. Can anyone tell the definition of sequence in R?
Mapping of natural number to real number.
Yes, it is mapping from natural number to real number, because we are in Rn, it will map from natural number to Rn or Rm, like natural number to R2, natural number to R3. So this sequence is a mapping from natural number to, so here I wrote Rm. Why I writing M here? Because we'll say there exists a natural number, so that natural number we are denoting by n, so that's why I'm taking here M. M is again a natural number. M can be 1. If it is 1, it will become real sequence or a scalar sequence. If it is more than 1, it will be vector valued function. So that means the natural number 1 map to something. So can you give me example of a sequence in R2? Like if M equal to 2, can you give me one example of a sequence which will map to natural number to a vector in R2? Okay, give me one example of a sequence from natural number to R.
1 by n.
Sin
1 by n.
square.
So if I will take this sequence 1 by n, comma 1 by n, is this sequence in R2? The
Yes,
x
sir.
component is,
Yes.
so this is a sequence in R2. Similarly, in R3, can you give me one example of a sequence? So here whatever written is that if xn is the sequence, these are the nth term of the sequence. So I'm writing 1, 2, m. This 1, 2, m is this one. This is x1. This is the first element. This is the second element. That's why I'm writing here 1, 2, m for just notation. And this xn is the sequence, the same sequence, but this is the first component. So that's why I'm denoting by this one. This is at the second component. It may not be that both are same. Like this is 1 by n. It can be 2 by n or some sign n or something else. So it is denoted by this, like we are denoting the sequence. If you want to write sequence like this, this is the sequence we are writing like this notation. But here this bracket will represent this is the first component, second component. So we'll put one more bracket, then it will become sequence where n is running from 1 to infinity. So this one extra bracket is representation for the sequence, and this without bracket it is an nth term of the sequence, like 1 by n comma 1 by n is the nth term of the sequence in R2. Is that clear? Like sequence in R2 is just each component is a sequence. Like this one is a sequence, this is also sequence. Both can be same, both cannot be same. So the same definition. If xn is sequence in Rn, that means it has n component. It is convergent if there exists L such that for every epsilon positive there exists a natural number. If you are able to find a natural number such that previously the definition was mod xn minus L is less than epsilon, that mod is become norm because we are in Rm. So this is the norm of Rm. It has m component less than epsilon for all n is bigger than n0. So that is the definition of convergence of sequence in Rm. And I already told how to find the distance. That means how to calculate the norm. So that means again you have to find a natural number such that this criteria will satisfy. But this definition even we can avoid because of this result. What this result says that if you have sequence in Rn, in Rm, like it has m component, and if you are able to find the convergence of this first sequence, similarly second sequence, suppose this is converging to L1, this sequence converging to L2, this sequence converging to Ln. Okay, so each individual sequence if converging to Li, then overall sequence converges to L1, L2, Ln. So that means this definition, if you apply, even if you don't apply, you can easily check the sequence is convergent or not. Whatever you learn, all those things you can apply. So for example, this sequence, where this sequence will converge, like where 1 by n will goes to 0, 1 by n square is equals to 0. So this sequence limit is 0, 0. Is that clear? That is this result says that if each individual sequence is going to Li, like the first sequence converging to L1, second sequence converging to L2, Similarly, the last LM sequence will goes to L small lm. Then the limit of the sequence, this n-dimensional sequence will goes to L1, L2, L1 by this result. So even whatever we learn so far, like sandwich theorem, all those things we can apply. So the thing change is there. You have to apply individually the same logic. So can you say that this sequence, what is the limit of this sequence?
So divergent.
Yeah, this sequence is not convergent because this sin n is not bounded. Sorry, sin n is going to between -1 to 1. So this doesn't have a limit. Even -1 to the power n is also doesn't have a limit. So if one component doesn't converge, then definitely sequence is not convergent. So for convergent, all components must be convergent. And why this is coming? This is coming because of this result. Because there is a relation between mod and norm. So that's why it is coming. So suppose the one sequence is given. Suppose this is sequence xn1, xn2, and some xnm. Suppose this converging to L1, this is converging to L2, this is converging to Lm. So the overall sequence limit will goes to L1, L2, Lm. So this whole sequence will converge to L1, L2. So the proof of this is very simple. If you just expand this, what you will get? This L means L1, L2, Ln. This Xn means this n components. So what is the norm of this if you apply? So this is Xn, this is L. Can you tell me the norm of Xn minus L? So this is Xn and M component. This is L. So this is M, this is not N. M component. So can you tell me the distance between these two? That is the norm. What is the distance formula?
Minus L1 plus Xn minus L2 plus Xn minus Ln root over.
Yeah, so this is square root of Xn, this 1 minus L1 whole square plus this minus L2 whole square plus this minus Lm whole square, and that is less than epsilon. Right? So this whole square root is less than epsilon. So I will write that this difference. Xn1 minus L1, this is square, then Xn2 minus L2, this is square, and Xm minus Lm, this is square, whole square root is less than epsilon. Can we say that each individual is less than epsilon?
Yes, sir.
If this whole square root is less than epsilon, can we say that each individual is also less than epsilon?
Yes,
The answer is yes. So that means each sequence will converge, then it will also converge. Suppose this will converge, this is less than epsilon. So this less than epsilon implies that each individual is also less than epsilon. So that's why this results came that if each individual sequence will converge to Li, then overall sequence will also converge to L1, L2, Lm. So by this result, so now I am not discussing more about sequence. You already know how to find the limit, all those things. So just individual you will find and just write 0, 0 in this case. Here you can say that this anyone, like you can say -1 to the power is not convergent. So this sequence is also not convergent.